Hello, hello. Oh no, my audio's not. Okay. Hello, friends. Happy New Year's. Oh, we got Russia in the house about to have a new year. Living in the future. Hope y'all celebration is going good. It's still so crazy to me how like the time differences are. Like literally y'all are living in the future. It's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I wasn't doing much. I was hanging out. I just finished recording a video. So I figured I would just jump on a live stream real quick and hang out for a moment and chat to folks, see how everyone's doing, show off some of my photos from the year, and just kind of hang out. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. It'll probably be a pretty low-key stream. I don't even think there's gonna be that many people in here, so it's also like mad early in the morning on New Year's Eve. Like no one ain't trying to no one's trying to get on here and watch the live stream right now, so. But yeah, while we're hanging out, feel free to share a little bit about your year and how it's gone. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest of years for most people, so yeah. Wishing you all the best. Hopefully you didn't have too hard of a year. But we'll go through the little bit of sessions I was able to do this year, because it really wasn't a lot comparative to like 2018 where I did like 40 weddings. So we had a big difference this year in how much we had to do. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out some of these photos. So I'm just gonna be going through some of my JPEGs, and hopefully I can find some of my like favorite photos of the year. There's some stuff in here I can't really show yet because I just don't want some of my clients to see. So like for instance, I have bridals here, but with bridals you can't show those until at least the groom gets to see it at the wedding. So keep those kind of, you know, on the low. Headed to shoot a wedding right now. Awesome. Good luck with your wedding. India got 2 hours to 2021. Yeah, almost there. Videos helped so much this year. Started my photography business. Awesome. So awesome. Let's see what I had for engagements. And these are in no particular order. But this was an engagement I did pretty recently. Actually, this was like the last one I did. So it was October. See if I can get that fit in the screen. There we go. Now something that's weird has been going on recently. My 23 f2, I feel like the edges aren't as sharp. You can kind of see it if you like nitpick. And I don't think it was always like that. It feels like the edges are off. I don't know if it's like my lens is dirty or what. But it's been kind of weird. Crazy year, almost no jobs at Spring. Just a week ago, bought myself XT3. Awesome. That's the best gift for myself. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, this is a couple I'll be doing their wedding in October. Or yeah, like that shot. This is like so muddy. This session was like white balance hell just because of like just the leaves, and it was like cloudy. But it was a fun little session. Went out to a park and just kind of took some photos. Here's some good old 16, 2.8. Thanks for your videos. They've helped me set up what I want as a photography business in 2021. Awesome. Yeah, good luck with that. I love hearing all these stories of everyone kind of jumping in there. I love catching my couples just being like stupid and silly too. Like if that's what kind of couple they are, I'm all about it. So yeah, this was pretty much my last session of the year. Yeah, you can see it here. It's like not totally in focus. I think it's doing that back focus thing that I had on the XD2, where it's like this tree, these trees are in focus, but the couple's not totally in focus. Then we did some in-house session where they were just hanging out. I like to also kind of have my couples in their natural element, basically. And then here is the good old 50 f1. Y'all already know I love that lens. This, I think they're gonna use this for their save the date. This was like the money shot for them. But yeah, the 50, if y'all are looking at the 50 or thinking about it or you're not sure, definitely check out the 50 f1. It is a great lens. I really love it. And I know everyone's saying that it's like not that great of a lens and it's not sharp, but I don't know where that's coming from, because I've only had great results with it. And the look of it is just so good. So yeah, this is all 50. I think for the most part, for my tele lens for this session, I use the 50. Makes the 50, that's a Fujifilm lens. Fujifilm 50 f1, like even, yeah, just like the little bit of blurriness and fall off is so good. I took a ring shot in this session. It was pretty decent. I used the 50 for that with the extension tube on it as well. That's just a little headshot. She wanted some LinkedIn stuff, and I don't mind doing that for my couples if, you know, we have a moment for it. Yeah, so this was these are Christmas lights that they just happened to have laying around, because obviously it was like right before Christmas. It was like October. So I just took my iPhone to light the front of the ring, and then the 50 with the extension tube on it, and then just had the Christmas lights around to give the bokeh. Little light balls, get some stuff going on. You can kind of tell this one's a Christmas light. Wow, I still can't believe that this was this year. So this was like, I think, yeah, it was like February. I did their wedding this year as well. So this was before, this was like pre everything popping off. This was normal life. And then everything happened and they ended up having a backyard wedding, but it was really nice, honestly. Hey John, how's your day going? Happy New Year's. Hello, thank you so much. I just woke up, just starting the day out, not doing much. We're just reviewing some of my year in photos. So this was like, the 50 f1 wasn't out at this point. I wasn't a Fuji ambassador at this point. This was like, so the X-T4 wasn't even out, I don't think, yet. The start of 2020. This session, which I'm gonna share with you all, this one also is, I have a video, a behind the scenes of this session. So if you want to check out the session and see how it went, you can actually watch it here. Yeah, because this was the 56, which is still a great lens. If you're looking to save some money, like the 56 1.2 is the way to go. My phone blowing up. Can't even breathe. That's, I think this is the 23 f2. It might be the 16. It's good old 56 again. There go one of my walk-in shots, because you know I gotta get those in every session. Where have I studied photography? Nowhere officially. I am self-taught. I pretty much just learned online and through other photographers as well. I know a great starting point, I don't know if y'all follow them on YouTube, but Tony Northrup. So Tony and Chelsea Northrup, that's a great baseline starting place if you like have no idea about photography. Would I shoot them on? This is all X-T3. Yeah, I had just bought the 16 f2.8. Turkey in the house, hello. How y'all are just about at New Year's too, right? this is the 23. I love like the separation of this, just these lines in them. Look at that warping though from the 16 2.8. I'm definitely looking into getting the 16 1.4 because after using it once, it was so good. There's not a lot of distortion on it either. So this was kind of the first section, and then we did an outfit change and moved locations, which is what I generally do on my weddings or my engagement sessions. I got an XT2, should I buy one? So the jump between the XT2 and the XT3 is actually, in my opinion, fairly large. The focusing just got a lot better, and with the XT3 with its recent firmware updates and its focusing, it's on par with the XT4. So if you do have the funds to upgrade to the XT3, I would say go ahead. But the XT2 is great. Some of my favorite shots I've taken are still like on the XT2, just amazing photos. So XT2 is totally capable. You should travel to Turkey. I'd love to, honestly. Like really would love to. So there's our outfit change. They got a little bit more dressy. Oh, I hate how my photos get saved, but they're not in like any kind of order. So it'll be like all the tele shots and then all the wide shots get like together. This is all 56, 1.2. This might be the 16 up close. It looks like it. It has that up close look. I don't know why I didn't turn this. Why did I leave it like this? It's so bad. Maybe that's the 23 up close. Some more 56. Here's another 56 shot. So I absolutely love long hallways and walkways like this because you get the background blur and also the foreground blur, and you get the leading lines that draw you right into the couple in the middle there. I'm a professional photographer in Russia. Can I share with you an instant direct about how we shoot? Mostly reportage in Russia. I think it might be interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Hit me up whenever. DM me on the Instagrams. I'm slow to get back to people though, so just keep that in mind. So this is a walking shot. This is them like walking towards me. Oh look, there's another walking shot too. Does anyone or you, John, know where you can get photographer jobs? Are you talking about like legitimate working with company jobs? I'm not really sure actually. When I was at Squarespace, they were looking for a still life photographer and I should have applied, but I didn't. You're an amazing photographer. You and Reggie B are who inspire me. Awesome. So awesome. Thank you so much. I try, I try my best. Here's some more 56 stuff. So here, I think this was the 23. It might have been the 16, and then here's the 56. So just look at that difference though. Focal length makes such a difference. Oh yeah, this was a Brenizer too, I think. That's another reason why it looks so drastically different. This was probably with the 23. I love adding this fake tilt shift to photos. Honestly, I might start doing it more often. I've been like already kind of sitting down trying to think about what I want to change and how I want to improve for the year or like moving forward. So I really just want to make sure I like hone in on my style and the way my photos look. Yeah, that's a really big focus for me going into 2021. Live It Lifestyle, what's up? Welcome to the stream. You're good. I neglected Peter McKinnon after you went. This was another shot of them walking. Here's a good 56 shot. I play a little game with my couples. So it's basically like giving them prompts, which is how I get laughs like this. You give them something silly to do. So you put them in a pose and then give them some kind of stupid silliness to do. So you get some nice natural laughs like that. There's a walk-in shot. Here's some good old 56. I love the trees in the back, kind of adding a little color. Get that ring in there. I wanted to message you yesterday. I personally knew you and ask you about your Premiere Rush to start making YouTube videos. Awesome. Yeah, I use Premiere Rush off and on occasionally, but I recommend it to most people because it's hands down one of the easiest ways to start, especially if you're using it on like a computer. It's even easier than using it on an iPad. I've been half and half because I started using LumaFusion a little bit, and I think I like Luma better on the iPad, but it's just because it feels more like Final Cut. I'm really, really hoping that Apple, now that they have the M1 Max, will make Final Cut compatible with like iPads. Like, I really hope they do it. It'd be so awesome. How many photos do you give after a small shoot like this? Honestly, I try to give as much as I can. What I'm going through right now is pretty much all the photos they received. And it's saying there's 151 items in this folder. Take out a couple other folders and stuff. So it's like 140 photos. It really just depends on how long the session is and just how fun the couple is. But it ranges between like 60 and like 100 some photos for an engagement session, which is really kind of ridiculous. And then the only other engagement session I did was this in-home engagement session. So this couple, I booked them and they didn't plan on having an engagement session, but because they had to postpone their wedding, they wanted to just have like a little pick-me-up, you know, like because it sucked. They were like, oh, we have to reschedule. This is not fun. Like, let's do something fun to make sure that, you know, we're just still in a happy and fun mood. So we did a short little engagement session in their house. I love doing in-home engagement sessions because you pick something that they can do together and then you just kind of have them go through the motions and do what they're doing, and then you take some photos and kind of have fun with it. So you do most of all your edits on your iPad? No, not at all. I love using the iPad and I do edit with it, but it's mainly as a laptop. So when I'm at home and I have my computer, that's mainly what I'm using. I don't ever edit on my iPad when I'm just hanging out at home. Not at all. Oh, what are the too much noise canceling or something? But when I'm away from my computer, yes, I edit on my iPad and it is awesome. What is wedding season looking like for you? Busy? Do you see changes in the process? Not sure if you had the same restriction as Canada doesn't like an idea. Yeah, so the wedding season has been interesting to say the least. So the biggest thing is, first off, I had a lot of my weddings rescheduled to 2021. And honestly, probably the start of 2021 weddings are also gonna reschedule as well. So I don't have a lot of weddings like I usually do. One thing, and Taylor Jackson was just talking about this, 2021 is probably going to be a hype year for photographers because there's going to be a lot of people who are either rescheduling or trying to reschedule or get married here, or definitely 2022 is going to be busy. Now, recently, for me personally, I raised my prices kind of towards the high end of my market because I don't want to take as many weddings. Because now that I'm doing YouTube, I'm trying to kind of pace myself between being able to handle wedding clients and wedding photography and also YouTube, because I can't do both. So I'm literally trying to take maybe like 10 to 15 weddings a year and then focus on YouTube for the other part of it. So I raised my prices in hopes that that would scare people away, but it actually did the opposite. And I'm getting contacted a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know. But as of right now, weddings are only small weddings. People are still rescheduling. It probably won't get better until mid-year, so we'll see. But there's gonna be a rush of people trying to get married. Or maybe I just need to be ready to adapt for the future. Yeah, adapting is like the biggest thing. Like always adapting. And I think the biggest thing right now is being able to show couples and tell couples that you can handle weddings, even if it's like 10 people. You know what I mean? Like you can make a wedding look like an amazing, fun wedding, even though it was only 10 people. That's, I think, one of the biggest selling points right now is helping couples still feel like they're getting a full wedding experience, not just, you know, a couple photos at a small wedding. So yeah, do you use a PC or a Mac for your computer? I use both. My computer is a custom-made PC, so I built it myself, but it runs Mac OS. So if you know what Mac looks like, this is a preview finder. This is the Finder window. This is Mac. This is Mac OS. I'm on Big Sur, the newest version, but this is a PC technically. I had a photo of it somewhere. Actually, let me see if I can find it for y'all. I just took a picture of it like the other day. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. This is my computer. How beautiful. So yeah, I built that myself, but it runs Mac OS. The only problem, so this is the new Radeon 6800 XT. I don't have that in my computer right now because it's not optimized for Mac OS just yet. They haven't updated Big Sur to support it. So right now I have a Radeon 7 inside my machine. Also just picked up Photo Mechanic. Nice. Yeah, Photo Mechanic really is a game changer. Like you'll just start using it and be like, oh my god, it's fast. No matter how expensive equipment is, you always shoot wedding on a classic 5D. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, and I've said it before, cameras are just a little box that opens the shutter and exposes your film or your sensor. After that, it's like, if the thing works for you and it works well and it is a part of your workflow, there's no point in sitting there and upgrading every 50 years. Like, use what works. But yeah, so this is my computer and it runs both Windows and Mac OS. So I switch between the two. Like if I want to play some games, I can go on Windows and get that. If I want to be more productive, I usually do that stuff on the Mac side. I do all my YouTube video editing and stuff on the Mac side. I use Final Cut. But yeah, it's like decked all the way out. I have 128 gigs of RAM. I have an i9 9900K. This is the Wi-Fi card for Apple, because again, you have to have the right parts. So it doesn't like the Wi-Fi card that's built into the motherboard. So I have a Mac Wi-Fi card here so that it knows what's happening. This part here is a 10 gigabit Ethernet card that I put in that works with both Windows and Mac. And then again, this graphics card, I can use it in Windows. I can't use it in Mac just yet. There's 3 NVMe SSDs. There's one here, there's one under here, and there's one here. I got another SSD behind here, and then 2 big drives. So I have like 50 different drives. So my Mac is like in there, which is, I have a hard time buying Macs because I can do this and have just like a beastie Mac machine, and it's not hard to do. It really isn't. I think someone, have you tried any new Apple M1 computers? I have. I own the Mac Mini M1, and it's surprising how good it is. It is surprising. Here's some portrait shoots. So here's the session I did for the 50F1. And I can share that video with y'all as well. I got my page all messed up. I gotta go back and redo my YouTube page. Let's see, where is this session? Here it is. So if you haven't watched this session, here is the video for this session. You didn't realize you can use both. Yeah, it's possible to use Windows and Mac doing, and you have to be cool with like mucking around with your computer and all that kind of stuff. If you're not cool with that kind of stuff, then it is not for you. Bro, come on. There we go. Okay. Like most people don't do that. But it's cool that I can, and it's awesome. It won't last for too much longer because once Apple phases out all the Intel Macs, the Mac OS won't work on Intel chips anymore, so it won't be as easy to do. You use a lot of prompts with your clients. Do you do posing as well? How do you do when someone just isn't responsive or following your guides? So generally, for the most part, the prompts are enough, and I've vetted through my couple or the person I'm working with well enough that I know how they're gonna be or not. But for the most part, it comes down to me and how I talk to them and just making them feel comfortable, which helps with the posing. So all of this was on the X-T4 with the 50F1. It's better to mount to the AIO on the top with the tubes. So I've heard that, and I've also, I don't know, I've heard that it really doesn't make that big of a difference. But I guess, yeah, if you want to do cool air coming into the whole case, rather than me pulling in like hot air into the case, and then the graphics card getting like the warmed up air from the cooler. So yeah, and I mean, I could swap them, or no, I can't swap them because my 120 fan would be in the way that's in the back. How long have you used Fuji? Did you switch from a different camera maker, and why? Yes, so I've been on Fujifilm now for 3, almost 4 years. I originally was on Canon. The main reason I moved, honestly, was just convenience at the time. So at the time, I was shooting weddings on the Canon 6D, and you know, I loved the 6D. It was awesome, but it had one card slot. And after 3 years of weddings on the 6D, I started getting a little paranoid of my SD cards failing. So I was looking to upgrade to something, right? At the time, the best Canon camera that was out was the Mark IV, but that thing was mad expensive. And I wasn't looking to spend that kind of money because, again, I used 2 cameras at the same time. So to buy 2 Mark IVs would have been like nearly 10K. I wasn't trying to do that. And at the time, my mentor was like, hey, bro, you should try my Fuji. And so Fuji was cheaper, it was lighter, it was dual card slots, and it was just cool. And it was my first mirrorless camera. All those things was enough. I like that, dropped Canon, sold all my stuff, and moved right over to Fujifilm. And honestly, I had no problems. Nothing was weird. It was all fine. Like, it was cool. So cool. I used Macs like 15 years ago, but PC now is, so I was so fascinated. Yeah, PC, because, and I'm kind of the same way. I kind of switched over to PC because, again, like, just the way Apple computers work. The best thing going for Apple computers is the OS. The OS and their ecosystem is what keeps me. So like iPhone, iWatch, you know, all the stuff, or Apple Watch, not iWatch. You know, iPads, all that stuff together, and Mac OS, it just works so good. And there's a lot of apps on Mac OS that I just really like. But like Windows, being able to build my own computer is cool. When a new graphics card come out, I can be like, cool, bloop, update. You know, I know what I'm doing, and I can flip the parts and it's fine. Not, you know, your computer gets slow and then it's like, whoop, gotta buy a whole new. I can't. Fuji X-T3 also underexposes. I watched your video, but not sure. I mean, it's more about how you shoot the photo. I tend to not underexpose. I like to get correct exposures. But no, there's no fill light here. With natural light, you have to just kind of understand where the light is coming from. That's why, again, everyone loves to backlight everything, but if you're shooting natural light, backlight is not always the option. You need to find a way where you have maybe even light overall, because you can even see here, yes, she has some backlight, but she also has some light coming from the front, coming from these little lamps, and there's some reflecting off the other side. I'm like pointing at the screen like y'all can see me. This side here has like glass that's reflecting on her as well, so that's what's filling her in. And then also in post, you can save your shadows a little bit to make it look like there was fill light. So no, there's no fill. All this stuff is just straight up natural light. I'm not familiar with Fuji. How good is it for portraits? It's great. At the end of the day, most all cameras are pretty good. Like, that's the hardest thing nowadays, is cameras are good. Nowadays, cameras are good. So it's more so just picking the camera company that you like the most, really. At the end of the day, if you like the price, if you like the system, if it's easy for you to use, if you like their color science, that's the stuff that's just deciding stuff now, in my opinion. I don't think one camera is better than another at something. I love Fuji on portraits, even a Canon lens on a adapter. Yeah, because that's one thing I love to do too, is like take an adapter. This 50 f1 is so good. I love this lens so much. But yeah, even like I'll take my Fuji camera and throw some old school Nikon glass on it, shoot it like it's like a film camera with an 85 lens on it. Hello, welcome to the stream. The way Fuji handles harsh sunlight is cool. Yeah, a lot of that is part of my my preset too, I think. But yeah, at the end of the day, cameras come down to what works best for you. And it was like, you know, like back in the day, it was like that too. Like you take these two old school cameras, right? So here's a Nikon FG20, and then you got a Canon AE1. And if you were to go to anyone and be like, which one is better? It's like, bro, they're boxes that have shutters that open. The film you put in them is the same. The only differentiator in these cameras is glass. And that's it. And if like how they meter light or whatever, but like, and cameras are still like that nowadays. The thing that changed is because of all the digital side of stuff, how camera companies sell their cameras make it seem like they're so much better than everything else. But that's just sales tactics. It's the same difference as like when they first started recording stereo, and all the records were like stereo sound. You know, like that's just how people sell stuff. That's the same with like 8K and 4K TVs and all that stuff. That's the same thing. It's like if your TV is smaller, you technically don't even really need 4K because you have so much resolution. You can't even see the difference on like a little, you know, like a 27-inch TV. It's just like more resolution just helps you get bigger. It's not gonna really. So yeah, I digress though. So at the end of the day, I think all cameras, it really comes down to just what you like to use. Fujifilm just felt right. Like I held it in my hands, and I love how it pretty much is like an old school film camera. Like it has the aperture ring on the lens, just like an old camera. It has like the knobs on the top, which I don't even use, but it just feels like an old camera. It has that film feel to it, and it made shooting fun for me again. Like, I feel like shooting wasn't fun when I was on a Canon. It was just kind of like, okay, do the job. I thought I'd buy Fuji for video. Is this a good idea? I don't know if Fuji is the best for video. It sounds like right now, and these are just like my opinions from looking at stuff because I've never used anything else, but it seems like for video, Sony is kind of like on top of everything right now. This was photos from my Brenizer shoot. Yeah, most of these sessions are all gonna be from YouTube videos I did. Editing photos and listening to John Branch. Do you ever get bored when editing? Sometimes I get unmotivated when editing. Yes, I do get bored with editing. I get bored so quick when editing, and that's why I live stream when I edit, because I can't, like, after a while of doing it, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm done. I can't edit no more. So I don't really have any tips. If you can find a way to do something, like listen to something, like a long podcast or something that you would like to just sit down and listen to, that might help. Because that helps me. Being able to do something while I'm editing is what helps the most. Let me see if I can find this video for y'all if y'all haven't seen it. This is the video where I teach how to do the Brenizer method. You can check that out right here. So if y'all aren't familiar with the Brenizer method, it is taking multiple photos and putting them together as a panorama. So this is with the 50F1, but the reason why there's so much space on the screen is because it's multiple photos. I tend to take too many photos, so this is probably like 20 photos all merged together. GH4 is better if you do non-color grading. Yeah, like even so at the end of the day, for me, I love the way Fujifilm looks. I love its colors. So I use it for video and it's great. But when it comes to autofocus, especially in a video kind of area, at least from my understanding, I think that Sony is better. But again, I have never really used Sony. I use Fujifilm. Here's a anniversary session, or just like couple portraits. So they've been married for a while, they got kids and everything, but they just wanted some photos together. I did a session with him beforehand just for like some LinkedIn photos and things. So they also wanted to do another session. So yeah, these were cool photos. This is probably the 56. This was early in the year as well. So I'm pretty sure it was before the 50F1 came out. I took a couple shots on film too in this session. Yeah, that I never noticed. The 16F2 has so much distortion. Oh, the Brenizer, yeah. The Brenizer method is cool. When I first learned it, it was like 2016, and I did it like all the time. It's like all I ever did. I was like, yeah, Brenizer everywhere. Here goes a classic. Oh, I messed up. That was a classic walking towards me shot, which I tend to do pretty often. I think I told them to walk and then to try and like grab each other and kiss. That's where you got this dip, dramatic dip. Speed lights, no speed lights. I tend to do just natural light. Straight up natural light all times. I'm not a fan. The reason why I don't like off-camera flash is just because it's so much to set up. It's like so much. It's so much. And I just can't deal with it. I'm not a fan at all. Here's a walking shot. And it turns more of the creative side of photography into like too much science, you know? So I'm not saying don't use speed lights, but a lot of I just can't, like having to carry stuff. And tips for focusing. So usually what I do for the focus on walking shots, Oh, this actually, it might work this time. Let me see if I can give y'all the view. Y'all can actually see it. So yeah, like I said again, so my X-T4 I use mainly for video, so I got it in a small rig and everything. Let's see if I can set up a, oh, is it even plugged in? Oh no, it is, okay. See if I can set up a view for y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Let's see. How can we do this? Let's duplicate this. And we'll add. I wonder if this will work. Fit to the screen. Give me them properties. Nope, it doesn't want to work. Why is it only giving me? Hold on, we need game capture HD. Favorite Lightroom feature? Ooh, that's a hard question. Oh wait, you know what? Is this thing even plugged in? That's probably the problem. Yeah, it's not even plugged in, y'all. This is probably it right here. Great job. Was that it? Yep, that's it. Well, that explains a lot. Okay, let's try this again. Video capture device. Still not working. Here we go. Okay, y'all about to see it. We about to do it for real. Ta-da! Is that working? Yep. All right. So we're talking about how do you focus when you have clients walking to you, right? So I'm about to give y'all a little crash course in how I like to focus. So we can all see that, right? Yeah, y'all can see my screen. So X-T3, X-T4, it's basically the same. So I always use single point focus. So that's the first. Single point focus is how I focus at all times. Everyone's always like, what do you do for focus? How do you focus? I never use continuous focus. I always use single point. The quickest way to get to that menu is by pressing up on the little D-pad on your Fujifilm. So that's on the back where they had the menu OK button. So single point focus, right? And there's my square. So that's normally how I focus. No continuous. I turn continuous off. And that's on the front here. You pick S. And then I just focus on where I need to. and hold it down and have like a little medium size kind of square. And that's how I focus. Does it have continue? I swear continuous is on right now. Is there a setting I don't have on? It's like focusing, but I'm on stills. It shouldn't be doing that. Maybe because it's in HDMI, whatever. And then, so what I'll do is when I want to switch to someone walking towards me, is you switch it to continuous. So you switch the S to C, press up on the D-pad and go to zone. And so now you see I have the square with multiple squares in it. So I'll make that like a decent sized square like that or something. Y'all get to see how dirty my room is now. And then I have the button on the back set to autofocus on. So I'll hold back button focus. And you see now how it's trying to, and it'll focus like that. So I know I tend to center focus my shots. So I'll just focus like that. No face detection or anything. And then focus like that while they're walking towards me. So I know I'm gonna hit the shot like every time. What lens is good? I mean, any lens is good for walking shots, basically. The biggest thing is that if you're on a full frame, don't be shooting wide open. Like, stop down a bit. Don't just shoot wide open because you're gonna miss some of the shots. But it really comes down to the focusing system if you're gonna do it this way. So that's generally what I do for walking shots, for focusing. This shot is the 56. I don't think I had the 50 at this point. There's someone who used the X-T3 and the A7 III and can compare the two cameras. I don't care about video, just still performance. Yeah, I've never used any of the Sony stuff, so I don't really have a good gauge. Let's go back through some more photos. So again, this was just a couple session. And yeah, this is how you can tell it's natural light, because the sky's like blown all the way out. Like that's how natural light photography is gonna look. You can't save the sky and expose the couple. That's just not how it works. And you know, some people don't like that look. They don't like the blown out sky. Some people don't care. To each their own. This was also, I think this was the 50, but I can't remember. Do an office tour. I'm planning on doing office tour video at some point. I just haven't gotten my life together. Also, my office is like always a mess and I need to clean it. I don't know if y'all noticed, I had to get rid of my plant boy. My plant boy died. He wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling life. He was like 2028 for me. So rip to my plant. Any tips for outdoor wedding portraits and photography when there isn't much shade available? Oh, those are the roughest days. The biggest thing is definitely find places where you're not gonna have your couple squinting as much. That's probably the biggest tip. Like, actually, I have a wedding that kind of is like that. What were their names? So many weddings. This is actually not so bad comparative to like some of the other years I've had. This wedding, yeah. So this wedding was a beach wedding. So there's like no shade. This was the drone shot. So yeah, like this is broad daylight on the beach, no shade whatsoever. I mean, look at how harsh their shadows are on the bottom here. Just like, so I try to not backlight them. That's one of the biggest things when you have no no shade, is don't backlight, because you're going to be fighting the light and it's going to look bad, especially if you're shooting natural light. Now if you are using strobes, that's different because you can actually fight the light. But if you're just doing it by yourself, natural light, don't do that. That's why, so for this shot, I told them to walk towards me. The sun's blasting them in the face, but I told them to look at each other so we can get as least amount of squinting as possible, but they're still lit well. And then honestly, do what you can to find shade. Like really, find it where you can. And then after that, it's just gonna be editing. So like all this was horrible. It was backlit. It was just rough. But my post-production was okay on it. It's not the best in the world. Beach weddings are rough. How do you find wedding photography clients? That is the hardest. At this point, I'm very established, so people find me. But when I started, I used a service called Thumbtack, and that service helped me with finding clients and kind of establishing myself. Yeah, all day you can see that I'm just like searching for the shade, especially in these group shots. All this area right here was in shade. But yeah, this was a cool little tiny wedding. What camera do you think can help me as a beginner? Pretty much any camera, honestly. Basically, and I've talked about it before, cameras for the most part are all the same. So especially as a beginner, don't get hung up on like what camera. Just find a camera system and then stick with that system and learn how it works. Once you start understanding how that system works and you start learning photography in a whole, that's kind of where you want to go. Rather than trying to find like the best camera. Do you do wedding videos for clients? How you use music for wedding videos? Any recommendations? So I don't do videos, but I'm thinking about starting to do some video. For music licensing, I would say the same thing as YouTube. Use something like Artlist, Epidemic Sound. I think it's called MusicBed. There are services that you can pay to get music that you can use that won't deal with licensing issues, which is what we're listening to right now on the channel. Do you think about Luminar Adobe Sky replacement? I've never done the Sky replacement in Adobe. I've messed around with Luminar. I have Luminar, I think. No? I don't, this thing is hating. I be searching for stuff and it's like, I'm not gonna show you your apps. Can't do that. Thought I had it. Maybe I don't. I could have swore I was just using it. I think the sky replacement is pretty cool. Actually, I think I did it on one of these photos. Did I? Yeah, this was a sky replacement that I did in Luminar. I was like testing it out and like just seeing how it worked. And I mean, if you take the shot right and you put it in there the right way, the sky replacement is actually pretty dope. Season's greeting, thank you so much. Thanks for the live session. Your hard work and effort is obvious. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I try my best. What was the service you used as a beginner again? I missed it. It's called Thumbtack. It's still around too. I don't know. They started pricing heavier because they obviously wanted to make more money. And at that point, it started getting a little bit costly and I was like, not trying to do it. But it's a great service because a lot of times the people on Thumbtack are just looking for cheaper work. So it's easier to get your start and get your portfolio building. Do you think you'll always stay a wedding photographer or do other forms like portraits or product? I don't know actually. I do mess around in other forms of photography. I just don't advertise it. I have thought about picking up some more stuff, especially product, because again, with how 2020 has gone, any photographer who was just all the way in one niche only probably had a hard time. Like in the video that I shared recently, like I only booked like 30K of weddings and I make all the money for my family. We can't live off of that. And all my weddings were postponed. You know, like people were canceling. I had to give the money back. Whereas if I was doing products, people are like, oh snap, I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to sell this product. There's always going to be a need for that. Like the best businesses to be in are B2B businesses, which is business to business. If you're servicing businesses, well, businesses are trying to make that money. So they obviously have money. So you're going to be cool. Whereas with clients, they could maybe not, or maybe have money. Who knows? I really enjoy your channel for the jewels you drop. Thank you so much. Any business tips? Oh, that's too broad. What's the point of the 4? The IV? Yes, I'm John Branch the 4th. That is me. There are 4 of me. My dad is also John Branch. His dad is also John Branch. His dad was also John Branch. My son is also John Branch. Which one is your favorite Fuji simulation? Classic Chrome. I'm a classic Chrome guy. So this is the replaced and this is the natural sky. Replaced and natural. And I mean, if I didn't tell you it was replaced, like, I don't think you could really tell. Like, it's pretty good. If you get into product, that'd be dope. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do like a series of me trying out different styles of photography that I've never done before. That'd be cool. Branch Dynasty, exactly. You get it. Oh, I can't show those photos either. That's a styled shoot I did that's gonna be published by The Knot soon, actually. What else do we have in here? This was my 50 versus 56 video. So this was cool. Just a couple of portraits. All of these are the 50 f1, which I still love this lens so much. Yeah, like look at the blur and fall off here in the hands. Face is sharp. Bokeh in the back here. Stu said, you know when it's a comfy day when the bro breaks out the button up in a sweater combo. Make some hot chocolate, get nice and cozy. I know, I'm a cozy dude, man. It'd be summertime and I'd be like in a hoodie. And my wife is like, bruh, why? It's mad hot. I like being cozy. I like the music in the background. With the services you use, what mood is this? So I would probably call this stuff, there's a genre that's going around now, like this called lo-fi hip hop. Or there's a company called Chill Hop. Just any kind of like chill instrumental hip hop. It's kind of that's my vibe. Honestly, that's what I make too. I'm a music producer myself. I'm thinking about making more music. So yeah, that's my vibe. Nice and chill. What presets do you use? I use my own personal preset. And that's it. It's called the Natural Fills preset. It took me 5 years to develop. Actually, I should have a bot, but my bot ain't doing nothing right now. The boy's supposed to be in there giving y'all some extra little tidbits in the chat. Yeah, the 50F1 is good. I don't know if these people be hating. It's not sharp. I don't... And again, okay, it's F1. Like, maybe it's not sharp. But I don't know, it feels good. It has a good feel to it. Where is my bot? Are you on? Activate. Nice, would love to hear some music from you. Yeah, I need to, I was playing around. I can give y'all a little sampling real quick. Bro, really? What is wrong with you? No. Where's my good old Ableton? Do you shoot all your pictures on XT3 or XT4? Because I currently have a Nikon, but I'm thinking of switching. I do most of my stills work on the XT3. The XT4 is awesome, but for me personally, it works better as a video camera mainly, rather than a stills camera. I can't get into the flip screen. The flip screen just kills my whole vibe. I can't. It's like slower. I just can't do it. Where's my output? Audio, output, multi-output device. Let me turn it down to make sure it doesn't blow your ear out. So yeah, I made this. This is me. Not sure if you've scoped out the competition, but your style of doing the full wedding day behind the scenes videos are unmatched. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know pretty much from what I've seen, Taylor Jackson was like, not the inventor, but he was definitely the biggest and first person to really put full wedding days on the map. And Taylor Jackson, like, I don't know him like that, but he's definitely hit me up on Instagram and we've talked. But I really do appreciate saying that my full wedding days are like some of the best. A lot of people say that. I really do appreciate it. I'm 13 years old to start photography and can work with men. Yeah, definitely get a camera. I love anyone who's young, start now. Just get a camera. It doesn't matter what it is or how good it is, and just start learning photography. Just learn photography. Don't do anything special. Just because when you're young, especially, you have no responsibilities outside of like going to school and getting good grades. Maybe you have some bills, maybe. So just use all your free time to get a camera and just try stuff. Because by the time you're in your 20s, you'll be trained and you'll be knowing what you're doing. So just any camera, literally any camera, as long as it's not your phone. There's nothing wrong with iPhone photography, but I think too many people nowadays will just pick up a camera and be like, I'm a photographer. And it's like, no, you can kind of learn on your phone, but you need to get that tradition in there first. I mean, go buy a film camera or something. You're going to give yourself heat stroke wearing that cone. Yeah. Why are you wearing this hoodie? It's the summertime. When using the Holdfast Moneymaker, can the glass of the lens and the camera tend to rub on the shackles of the belt? No. There's definitely no risk of scratching. Let me play a little something else for y'all. I need to finish these. I have this bad habit of like, I'll come up with a great idea for a song, but I can't really flesh it out and finish it. So it's just like a cool loop, and that's about it. So yeah, I gotta work on that. Let me grab this Holdfast so I can show y'all. Good old Holdfast. But yeah, this stuff is my vibe. So the question basically was, can you scratch your lens? So first off, with the Holdfast, right? They don't normally come. You see how mine has two? And let me switch this for y'all so you can see it a little bit better. See, you see how it has two of these portrait sliders on the same loop? That's not normal. I adjusted mine to be able to do that. Normally they don't come, they come with just the one. So you take your camera, right? So here's an X-T3. When you use the hold fast, you have to have these little like, this little thing on the bottom, this little hook thing. So I'm gonna pop that on the bottom of my camera. So there it is, prep to go. I need a lens. So we'll throw a bigger lens on it. So this is a 56 1.2. So here's our 56 1.2. I haven't put this on one of my cameras in a while, actually. So here's my camera. Pop it on my thing. Technically, so don't follow me. You're supposed to use the safety strap to make sure your camera doesn't fall off the thing. I never use it. I find it more annoying. So I live on the wild side. And yeah, generally I let my camera just hang. So it literally will just hang on me like that all day. It never scratches. I don't use a hood. I've been doing it for years. I mean, you have to do something drastic to scratch your lens. Like my 35 f2 is scratched, but that's because I did something stupid. So it got scratched, and that was my fault. You know, so yeah, the hold fast have never rubbed up on anything. Like for the most part, it's kind of impossible for it to hit anything. And like I said, having this extra one is not normal. The only reason it's there because I usually put that bag on my back, so it's usually hooked on to something else itself. So yeah, there's nothing for it to scratch up on. And again, it's just, look at that easy access. Like it's right there, it's ready to go. Some people complain about how it like hangs. So you see like, but again, you just get used to using it. I'm always like holding my camera sometimes. That's my resting place for my hand, is just kind of hold it like this. And then another thing I love about it is that I can be shooting. So I'm like, bam, 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 bam. And then if I want to go off the hip, I can just easily pull the thing out, take it off, flip my screen, and then bam, 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 and then just pop it back on the thing real quick. There it is. I love that, like, hands down, the Moneymaker is like one of the best ways, especially if you're using prime or 2 cameras. It's like the only way, in my opinion, like the only way to be shooting multiple cameras. Do you use indie filters? No. I don't like filters. I do have some indie filters. I use it whenever I do video stuff, but it's like rare. So good old Gabe. But normally I don't use indie filters. That seems so scary. I mean, yeah, it can be a little scary, I guess. I've been doing it now for like 3 years. So like that's just what you do. The Moneymaker is some good stuff. But yeah, this is all the 50 F1. So good. How much you want for that PlayStation? My good old PlayStation 1. Y'all got to see all my goodies in the back. What y'all know about let's hit you all off with some good classics. What y'all know about Brave Fencer Musashi? What you know about that? What you know about Mega Man Legends? Classics. Yeah, Square Enix or Square Soft and some good JRPGs. I'm like, that's my jam. Give me some JRPGs and some good old Square Enix, Square Soft. I've played like most all that. I got Vagrant Story back there. So many good games. Uh-oh. My wife texted me. It's important. Gotta always hit the wife back, you know. Gotta do it. Did I see right? I saw Ableton in the Thunbell. You saw it. Again, I used to do music production. That was actually what I went to school for. So yeah, you saw I played a little bit of my own music that I've been working on recently. Final Fantasy IV to win, yes. The only ones I didn't get a chance to really play a lot of the old Final Fantasies. So I played the redone versions of like 1 and 3 and 4. But not the originals. I never played 6, which is considered one of the best. Obviously 7, which I still haven't played the 7 remake, and it hurts my soul. When I started doing my own custom PC, because I work so much, me and my wife decided it would make sense for me to just sell my gaming system instead of having a gaming system and a computer. So if I do have time to game, I'm either on my Switch or doing it on a PC. But with that, I miss a lot of those exclusives, like on the PlayStation. So yeah, I haven't played the Final Fantasy VII remake yet, and I want to so badly. There were rumors it was coming to PC, but I haven't heard anything else yet. So now I'm kind of worried that it's not coming to PC. So you sold the 50 F1? No, I didn't sell it at all. I have both the 56 and the 50. Does the 56 look at you? The 56 is like, that was the first time I put my 56 on a camera since like mid-year. Then my 56 is like, why don't you love me anymore? I heard you're an anime fan. We need to talk AS. Oh, yes. Yep. Video games and anime. That's aside. Music, video game, and anime. That's what I do outside of the normal photography life. I gotta stop being shy with my work. I've been on and off for years, but I don't want to take it seriously. I've done a few senior shots and a couple shots. Yeah, just post it and get out there, because the more you post, the more people will find you. The more people find you, the more they'll like you. And it just kind of goes on from there. That's really what I found over the years. You just got to get out there and do the work. And when you do the work, people will enjoy it and they'll come to you. I need to tell my boyfriend about you. He's an audio engineer and makes music too. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I went to school for audio engineering. Like, that's what I actually majored in. I actually also worked in audio engineering for 3 years. I was doing post-production on TV shows and commercials. So that was while I lived in New York. So yeah, that's what I'm officially trained in. That's what I went to school for. For new photographers trying to start a business, would you recommend they start with full frame or cropped? I don't think it makes a difference. More so what really matters is if you understand your lighting and your camera. Because again, at the end of the day, and so one of the, honestly, I should do a video. I should do a common photography myths. Yeah, I'm about to write that down right now. Bro, what, man? Come on. Let's see. Common photography or beginner starting photography myths. That would be a good video, y'all. So I've heard before people say like, oh, your clients want you to be using the best of the best, so you need to use full frame. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I don't. Because again, at the end of the day, the clients don't care. They don't care. They see your photos, they like your photos, they look good. They assume that you're going to produce good photos for them. That's all they care about. If it's full frame or not matters not to them. That's what we photographers care about. So if you're starting out, you can start out with anything, full frame or crop sensor. I don't think it makes a difference. But if you can't see light, and you take bad photos, that will make a difference. So yeah, you can start with anything. Again, I started on the 6D, which was full frame, and then moved to Fujifilm, which was cropped. So, and I feel like my work got better when I was on Fujifilm because I understood the system better and I just liked using the camera better. You know, I, as a photographer, got better. So you can buy a 5D Classic. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're still using a 5D Classic. Like, and that's fine. It works. If it works for you, it's cool. What are the rules for posting without tagging people? Can I put photos on my website without their permission? I mean, you could technically, and they could technically sue you if they wanted to. Most of the times, whenever I do a session, I have a contract for a model release. That's the best way to do it. Like, you should always have a model release for whatever you're posting. You get that M1 Mac Mini? Yeah, I've had it for a long time. I missed the wave of getting on the M1 Mac like videos. I still need to make mine, but I have it. I've been using it. It's not my main machine. My wife mainly uses it, and it's kind of like a backup for me, or if I do in-person workshops. But yeah, I was surprised at how well it performed. That was the biggest thing for me about the M1 Max. Comparative to this beastie machine I have here, like, it could keep up with it. It wasn't as fast, but it could definitely keep up. Music's too loud. Sorry, guys. There we go. How did you learn photography? Basically online. So I had a natural talent for it for a long time. So I would kind of just shoot around and people was like, oh, your composition's great. Or they'd be like, oh, cool. And then when I decided to try and make it into a business, that's when I really took a year to train. I basically learned online. Like I said before, Tony Northrup and Chelsea Northrup, they have a great kind of starting photography baseline that taught me a lot of it. And then from there, it was just practice and doing it for real. So obviously, there's still a lot I could learn, but most arts are a forever learning type of thing anyway. And yeah. They know I took mobile shots with it. Mixed a few shots with my main camera and iPhone. They didn't even notice. Yeah, exactly. People don't care. That's why I can't stand that thought process that like your clients want you to have the best camera. Your clients don't know what the best camera is. Like they don't know. They don't care. They just want some good looking photos. What other portrait shoots I have in here? Oh yeah, this was the GFX versus the XT4 video I did. Man, this GFX, I want to buy one so bad. The most difficult part of being a wedding photographer is taking the photos of brides. If you're a freshman. Anyone here who's getting ready to buy a camera and some lenses, please, for the love of something, if they can come up with, put warranties on them. Yep. I mean, usually for warranties, you should have insurance that covers that stuff. Do your LED constant light for... I do sometimes. I don't use consistent lighting on shoots. Again, for the most part, I use natural light. I use them for sparkler exits, though, which I need to do a video on it. I just bought a Lume Cube. So, this was the one I was using before, the little Manfrotto. And this one was cool. This thing never focused. So it's a little Manfrotto LED light. But the problem with this is that the part that connects to your hot shoe, it doesn't there's no way that it can screw in. So it slips off. So mine broke. That's why I got this ghetto tape on the front of it here. You can't really see it, but there's tape to hold it together because it just slid right off the thing. Now the Lume Cube, they're smart, and see, they make stuff for photographers and has this little screw on the bottom, so you can actually screw it onto your cold shoe or hot shoe or whatever. So this is much better, but they're basically the same thing. The better thing with the Lume Cube though is it's bi-directional on the color. So like, oh, that thing's bright. Let me turn that down. So I can make it cooler or warmer. Can y'all see? Yeah. So you can make it kind of a warm light or you can make it a cool light. Y'all can barely see that, whatever. So yeah, this, I love using these for sparkler exits. Cause again, I like to keep the ambiance of the sparklers in the sparkler exit rather than just like killing the whole mood by like using flashes. So doing it that way, it kind of keeps the ambiance of the sparklers, but then it lights your couple up so that you can still get them in a good shot. The GFX 50R is a beast. Yep, this is the 100. To build a portfolio, do you recommend doing free photo shoots? It depends. So when I got into photography, one of the biggest things I promised myself is I wouldn't work for free. That was huge. Like I wasn't gonna work for free. I'd work for $50, but I wasn't gonna work for free. Now, doing free shoots, if it's something that's gonna build your portfolio and give you something that you really need in your portfolio, you can totally do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it either. Just don't become like the free photo person by always offering free shoots. Like, you should only be doing free stuff on things that you really, really want to do. Yeah, the GFX has so much resolution on it, it's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. Oh yeah, this is all broken down. Let's look at the couple portraits. So this was that couple I was showing earlier that I did their engagement session back in like January, February. They ended up having to do a small backyard wedding. GFX 50R is $3,500. That's not bad. I mean, that's your typical price of a decent full frame camera, really. The 50R is slow though. That's my only gripe. Like, after using the XT3 and 2, it's just so fast. If they're new, you can take some couple photos for creating a portfolio. Yeah, definitely. And it's good for practice too. Like, get out and, you know, get some practice in. Get some portfolio building stuff. Thank you for that sub. What range of color temp do you use on the Lume Cube when you're doing things like sparkler exit? So what the biggest thing you'd want to do on a sparkler exit is you want to make your Lume Cube warm, because the sparkles are going to be warm. And so when you white balance it, it'll be easier to keep everything the same. Dang, so many subs. Thanks for the subs. They just coming. I can't say, I guess I can. Thanks for the subs. But yeah, you would want to use a light that's warm. It's medium format. It's going to be slower. Just buy it. Well, no, I mean, so I used the GFX 50 one time, and then versus the 100, and it was like the 100 was so much faster than the 50. Like, it focused faster, and it has IBIS. It was just beastie. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Thank you for the subs. I don't understand what's happening. Am I getting like sub spawned? Is this even real? Probably a bunch of bots. Just the bot coming through. Sub. Ah! And then I take the camera and zoom it. I mean, yeah, is that what's happening? I'm getting sub spammed. Are these real subs? I'll take them. I just hit 63K subs. They said, what's happening? What's happening? Gas. Beware of the gas. Gear acquisition syndrome is real, y'all. My goal for 2021 is to not buy any gear that I don't need. You're hearing this first from John Branch on New Year's Eve, and he will probably break it immediately after. I always have a hard time because like new stuff comes out and I just love tech. So I'm like, oh, there's a new thing. It looks so cool. Do you need it? Not really, but oh my goodness, I want to try it. And then I justify somehow of how I need to update my camera. That's what I've been doing lately, just doing some free shoots to build my portfolio. Yeah. And like, you know, again, don't do it all the time. Just do it enough to build what you need. Happy New Year. Excited to restart my photo business in the meantime. Yes, awesome. We got VA in the house. Jamaica in the house. It was your last video. Very honest, informative. Thank you so much. Yep, just trying to keep it real. Trying to inspire those. The biggest thing for me is like, we gotta get people out there and realize like you can make this money. There's money. There's money for y'all. I don't want y'all to be broke. And there's enough money to go around. We can all eat. You know what I mean? That's the same with photography and like photography having like competition. I don't know, it's kind of stupid. There's mad people getting married. Everybody getting married. Everybody getting divorced. Everybody getting remarried. So many people get married. There's like billions of people on the earth. So again, like if you're not booking weddings, there's something you need to look at yourself. You need to look at your business. You need to look how you're advertising yourself. Because if you do it the right way, people are going to give you money because they want to. That's just what it is. Because there's people get married. And some, there's these photographers who charge super cheap. It's bringing down the market. No, it's not. Because the same difference is like there's Ferraris and having like a Hyundai on the market isn't bringing down the market. Or like having a low-end sports car is not bringing down the market. The person who wants to buy a Ferrari is going to buy a Ferrari. They're going to save their money and they're going to buy a Ferrari. That's just what it is. Same difference is a couple who wants a high-end wedding photographer, they're going to pay $10K. There are couples who pay $10K just for their photographer. They are. They're out there. They exist. But is your photography $10K worthy? Do you support your couples in a $10K worthy way? If not, no, you're not going to book it. So there's all these people running around like, I can't book weddings at $10K. Well, yeah, because you're not $10K worth. Like, it's just real. I'm not $10K worth yet. And that's just real. I got to work on that. So yeah, that's my rant for the day. Live streams are a great place to listen to me rant about things that are kind of associated as like the norms that I don't think really are the best mindsets for things. You know, if you're not booking, then you need to reevaluate your business. Because it's the same difference. Like Apple sells computers and their computers are mad expensive. I mean, half the time, because when I worked at Apple, I worked in the stores and they were like, y'all don't even need to sell the computers. They literally told us that. They're like, the computers sell themselves. What you're going to be doing is trying to make sure your customer gets the best experience and buys anything else that they need. You don't need to sell the computers, because Apple has a brand and a reputation now where if someone wants an Apple computer, they're going to go get an Apple computer. Oh, but there's Dells on the market that are mad cheap. Yes, there are, and they're not going to want those. That's what it is. Make sure your image quality is Ferrari good if you charge Ferrari prices. Exactly. 10K, what do those pics even look like? I mean, I know, what's his name? Eric Floberg, he charges close to 10K. I think on his website, it says he starts at 7, I believe, last I saw, which means a decent, oh, cool. Look at his little newsletter. Ugh, tilt shift so good. The only thing I miss from moving away from Canon is having a tilt shift lens, like a real tilt shift lens. And I've been meaning to do it because there's no videos about it But no one talks about adapting a tilt shift onto like a crop sensor. I'm about to literally buy like the, what is it, the TS24 or something, and adapt that to my Fuji because it should be like a 35 tilt shift. So hello, yeah, see? 8 hours, a local wedding is about 62. And then films are 85. So actually he's about around the same price as me. But again, that's like starting. He may have extra things that make it a little bit more expensive, but he's close to 10K, right? So you look at his photos. But again, at the end of the day, it's not totally just the photos. It is the clout. It is the experience from the company. It's how you treat your couples. Because that's the same thing with Apple. The argument always is like, people who use Windows like, oh, well, you can build your own PC with Windows and it's way more powerful than a Mac and it's cheaper. But Apple people are always like, but I love my Apple computers. Why is that? Because the OS works well, the support is awesome, the computers look good. Like their whole brand is set up in a way that, yeah, it's cheaper to build your own PC, but they just rather pay the price because the service is good. You know, like that's what it is. So yeah, don't ever let someone tell you that cheaper photographers are bringing down the market. That's not true, because those cheaper couples aren't couples you want to work with. Or if you're starting and you're charging cheap prices, that's fine because you're at that experience level. If I can only afford a cheap Dell computer and I'm okay with buying it, that's what I get, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're 50K worthy. Well, thank you. I think there's still some optimization I need to do in my business to be able to charge more. Ugh, tilt shift so good. I'm about to buy a tilt shift right now on the stream. So good. It's like a 35, it looks like. Ugh. Ugh. I know where this is. Good old West Village. Because we used to work there at Squarespace. I know exactly where this street is. Hey John, once again, I have a mentor that does wedding photography, and I'll ask him this too, but how should I go about pricing my weddings, engagements, portraits? So a lot of it, again, and that's kind of what I was talking about with like people bringing down the market. So the biggest part when you're pricing to keep in mind is your experience. Don't feel like you can just charge a large amount when you're super new. Don't do that, because what will happen is you'll end up kind of screwing yourself over by charging too much and then not being able to back up that amount of money with your services. So again, you have to think about your living expenses, what you need to live off of. You need to think about your experience, how many weddings you've done, and you need to think about just how you run your business, and you kind of price between there. Another thing you can do too is look in your market. So search in your area and find 10 photographers and range them from low to high pricing. See how much everyone is charging, and then base your pricing off of that as well, so you're not like way outside of the market. So when you find the high-end people, they're probably going to be people with way more clout and way more experience. And if you don't have any experience near to that, don't even try pricing that high. And then again, think about, once you price, what are you paying for after you've priced it out, and what are you taking home? What can you live off of, and how many weddings you need to do in a year? So if you're like, I want to do 35 weddings in a year, how much money do I need to make from each wedding? If you're like, okay, from each wedding I need to do $1,000, okay, cool. And then now do your write-ups and the price, and you'll get somewhere around like 2,000 or so. Like, just price it out like that, kind of. How am I dealing with the pandemic weddings? So for the most part, all my weddings have rescheduled. I've had 2 cancel. I refunded them fully. That was hard on my bank account, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And then anyone who's having a wedding, I have their small weddings. And I treat them the same as any other wedding. Is there a pricing cap on crop sensor? No. Again, your clients don't know that. They don't care. They don't know if you're full frame or not. They don't even know what that means. Like they really don't. That'd be like saying Michael Jordan gets paid more because he wears Nikes. Like, no, he's a good basketball player. And that's, again, I've been ranting about that the whole stream. Crop sensor versus full frame makes absolutely no difference. Your clients do not care. You know, if you are a Michael Jordan wedding photographer, you could shoot your weddings on whatever and people will love your photos because your photos are good, because you are good. The camera does not make the photographer. Let's put that in. Let's just remember that. Your clients do not care what you shoot on. They do not. They don't. You know, I can't play basketball to save my life. So it's the same difference. It's like, oh, Nikes make you play basketball good. No, they don't. Because if I put some Nikes on my feet, I will be the worst basketball player still. Because I'm bad. I haven't practiced. Which is what I was getting at with like charging based on your experience. If you shot 10 weddings and then you're like, haha, I've shot 10 weddings, I'm going to charge $10,000. No, you have no experience. 10 weddings is nothing. That's like I was at a workshop with Ane Atelier, which I can't spell, but I love their work. Their work is good. They're so good. And when they were talking about their wedding photography and how much they charge, they were pretty much like, I can't totally remember the story, but I think it was Gina who originally started the wedding photography business, and then she brought in Sheena. So this is Sheena, this is Gina. But Gina was like, bro, I've done like 900 weddings. She was like, I had a whole year of wedding photography where I did like 150 weddings or something and almost died. You know, like, she has experience. Like, experience. She's seen all of it with wedding photography. She knows how wedding days run, you know? So, like, she has experience. So, if you're not even past, like, the 100 weddings mark, you can't be sitting there trying to charge $10K. You can't. You don't know weddings. She knows them, like, in the depth of her soul type of thing. I don't think they have their general pricing on their website at all, like a starting price. But I mean, their stuff is good, and they have like super exotic stuff with people on camels, and you know what I'm saying? So they definitely probably charge like $10K. Like, look at that. So good. I think someone asked earlier, what is a tilt shift lens? So this is a tilt shift shot. So y'all see that blurriness on the top and bottom? Now, tilt shift lenses were initially made for architecture, because when you're taking a picture of a building and you take your camera and let's say you tilt it up to be able to see the whole building, well, what you're doing is you're throwing off the perspective, because then the lines of the building are still going to lean back because you're tilting up. So tilt shift lenses are lenses that you connect to your camera, but the lens actually moves, like literally like this. So instead of me tilting my camera up, you move the lens up, but it's on the mount still. So this hand is it mounted on the camera, but the lens will move like this, and it helps you keep your lines straight. People started using it for portrait photography, which was not what it was meant for at all, but it gives this cool like blur, and the focus is like, it makes the focus in really weird places. And that's how people use it to make those like miniature looking shots. I think Floberg had one somewhere. Was it on the main part of his site? But yeah, it makes things look like, this shot. It makes it look like a miniature. So that's kind of what a tilt shift lens is. Do you always use presets? For some reason, I actually like editing each photo. So yes, I do always use presets. And again, I have my own preset I use. But what that really comes down to is it's wedding photography. I'm editing thousands of photos. I can't sit there and edit every photo. Like, I can't do it. That would take so long, just sitting there editing every single photo. So yeah, With wedding photography, speed is what matters most. So that's why I use presets. But again, this is my preset. It's like the preset of my look and how I want my photos to look. So it's not like a preset that everyone else is using. But again, speed, and also, you know, like being able to tell your clients, hey, I can have your photos back to you in a couple weeks, versus editing every single photo and then it takes 50 years to get the photos back. And so yeah, always use presets. Could you perhaps pull up an old photo set of yours that had what you would consider horrific lighting conditions, either low or too much, and show what made the conditions you were given? I can try to. Let's see. So let's go back to my old work. So we're gonna go back to good old 2016, 2017. I don't even know who I have in here. I don't remember none of this. Horrible lighting conditions. John, you should take the new MacBook Air or Lenovo Legion. Please suggest some Windows laptops. I don't know enough about Windows laptops. When it comes to the laptops, I tend to just be a Mac person overall. Pre-built or like custom-built PCs, I'm a fan, but also I can put Mac OS on it. You can do it on laptops too, but it's a little bit harder. How can I get your presets? I sell them. I sell them online. My bot is not working for whatever reason. But if y'all want to check out my preset, here is the link in the chat. I don't know if I had any weddings that had absolutely horrible lighting. Man, this stuff is old. This was back when I was shooting on the Canon. Why aren't some of these photos showing up? I mean, this was bad lighting, but I just used the flash. That's tend to what happened. Yo, what's wrong with these photos? That's annoying that like every other thing is like not a photo. I'm sorry, y'all. I might just I'm just gonna flip through. Even this is doing it. Am I missing photos? But I mean, yeah, like, so this was me on full frame. And I mean, it still looks like me. I'm editing with a different preset at this point, so I didn't really have my look yet. But I don't know. I'm not over here like hurt because I'm not on full frame. I don't think it looks that much different than my current work. That's the big, everyone always says, oh, you gotta have full frame. I don't know. I don't know. There's definitely some advantages to it, but I really don't think it's like changing the whole world. To the person who asked about laptops, yeah. Thank y'all for helping each other. Thank you for answering questions. Yeah, I don't have any really great examples of bad lighting, because usually, again, when the lighting is really bad like that, you just tend to use a flash and make up for it. So Lightroom and Photoshop needs, yeah, you need a laptop that has some oomph to it. Yep, this is a reception area. This is all flash. And again, I've been doing the same flash for a while. Just flash on the camera with like a mag mod. But yeah, honestly, like, the main thing I see from full frame is the fact that I'm missing more shots, or there's a lot more out of focus. because you gotta stop way down half the time. Whereas like when I'm shooting on a Fuji, it's like I can just stay wide open because f2 on a crop is like f4 almost. Like everything's gonna be in focus, so it's like, you know, there's no point. Like, yeah, I really don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. What lens should I use for videos beside my 23 f1.4? So I like, personally, I think all the f2 lenses are best for video. The focusing system is just much better. So yeah, I think I heard it's like the 18 to 55 or the 16 to something is really good for video. I want to get one myself personally, but I just haven't done it yet, so yeah, this is all full frame. This is one of my favorite shots right here. But I mean, like, I guess you can tell it's full frame. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get down with that whole, and especially if I wasn't using the f2 lenses and I was using all the Fujifilm f1.4, like, I just don't, I don't know. I don't know why everyone argues full frame versus crop sensor. Which year? So this is 2017. I started taking weddings in like 26. So this was like my second year of weddings. This was probably like my 10th wedding, if even. Like, this was super early on. Because again, I had a day job too. Like, I wasn't taking that many weddings. So this was very, very early on. This is a great shot. I think this was with the Canon 110, which was one of my favorite lenses. Let's see. Let's look at the information. F3.2, because it was mad bright outside. Focal length 50. Oh no. This is the good old Sigma Art 50, which I love that lens. I loved Sigma lenses so much when I wasn't on Fujifilm. Like, the Sigma Art series was my go-to. How to power X-T4 up for live sessions. Electric adapter, yep, that's what I would do. I'm using an X-T3 for my video, and I have it on a grip, and I'm charging the grip, so there's like 3 batteries. How many photos do you normally have in total when you're after a wedding? So 2 cameras, I tend to come back home with about 5,000 to 7,000 photos. And then the couple gets between 800 and 1,000. I usually quote them an average of 650. Full frame or crop, no matter, learn to use your equipment. Exactly. That is the point. Which is why I hate that there's so many people out there who like, you have to have full frame to shoot weddings. No, you don't. You have to understand your camera. You have to be able to take good photos. You have to understand light. You have to be able to talk to your clients and pose them and be able to like deal with situations during the wedding day and be on top of stuff and get good focus and have stuff in focus and know what your f-stop is and know the exposure light. That's what you need to do, not full frame versus crop. Full frame ain't gonna do nothing for you. And again, and Reggie was talking about this at one point, when you understand your camera, you know its limits. So if you're on crop sensor, that's fine. Just know your limits. Know what you can do. Know what kind of lighting you can handle. Is it better or not at low light? Who knows? Is it easier to do stuff on full frame? Probably yes. But that shouldn't matter. We shouldn't just be like, okay, I'm gonna get a full frame because I suck too much to learn the exposure triangle and I just want my camera to do it for me. No. If you like full frame better and you understand your camera and you understand why you like it better, that's fine. But I have a huge pet peeve of everyone just being like, full frame is the way. I don't even understand the difference of it. I don't even know what it gives me. You know, well, you don't even know your camera. I get, but if you need 2 cameras, might as well have full frame. I mean, I guess. There's really no, for me, again, I went from full frame to crop sensor as a wedding photographer. For me, the weight, the size, the price mattered way more than the fact that it was full frame. And I've been doing way better since I switched over to crop sensor. So again, it has nothing to do, like, I understand photography better now, and I'm on crop sensor. So I'm able to get results that are better than when I first started. This was such a fun wedding. Ah, man, it's been like, what, 2 to 3 years? It's been so long. Yeah, 2017, wow, so long ago. But yeah, you see how many more shots that are just like totally out of focus? Like, I don't have that anymore on Fuji. What's your main camera? I usually use the X-T3. The X-T3 is like my go-to. Melissa, I don't even remember what any of these weddings are. I really don't. Oh yeah, this was a good one too. So these shots were my second photographer. I normally don't like to send the second to do all the groom stuff, but this time I did. And she did a great job. Good stuff overall. It looks a lot like my style. This Dutch tilt hurts though. I'm not a fan of Dutch tilt. But yeah, great stuff, nice candid stuff. And then this is back to me. Do you adjust your photos to post on your IG because cropping sucks? I normally don't. I just make sure I pick photos that will work on Instagram. So like there's a lot of shots that I just never put on Instagram because the cropping would be weird. And I don't feel like making another version. I got a dentist appointment, y'all. I probably have to get off of here in a second. But yeah, so this was me on full frame. And again, like I said, I don't feel like it's much different than my own style. Because again, I'm the photographer. So regardless on what I'm on, it's going to be generally the same. But yeah, I'm not going to front. If Fujifilm made a full frame camera, or if they get the GFX system to be nearly as fast as the XT system, yeah, I'm gonna upgrade. But again, at that point, it's more about the fact that I can print photos larger and the resolution is just gonna be better, but I'm still approaching it the same. So it's not like, oh yay, it's full, or it's medium format, so it's gonna make me better. It's just more so like upgrading to it to have it. What lenses do you use with your full frame? Which Sigma Art? So when I was on Canon, I had the Sigma Art 50. I had the Sigma Art 50. I don't even remember what lenses I had. I know I had the Canon 110, I think it is. The L lens. I don't even know if I had a 30. Did I not have a 35? Was I shooting everything on 50? What's wrong with me? Yeah, that's a 50. Are there any? Let's see if we can find some wide shots. I think I was literally shooting everything on 50. I don't think I owned a, no, that's a 35. I don't even know what lens I had. I don't remember my lenses, y'all. That's how hard I switched to Fuji. I like literally just forgot. I don't remember when I was not on Fuji. Like I don't remember it. Are Fuji lenses sharper, stop down a bit? Technically, yes, because the whole, I think, don't quote me, but from my knowledge, everything on crop sensor is like 1.5 times. So again, a 23 millimeter lens is technically a 35 because the crop. F2 is more like f3.2 or 4. So yeah, out of the box, On a crop sensor, your photos are more sharp. And again, so see, that's a great argument of crop sensor versus full frame. Like, if you don't know how to use full frame right, you're gonna get a lot of shots that are blurry or out of focus. Whereas on crop sensor, it's easier for you to hit focus. Like I said, again, I shoot wide open on Fujifilm because all the lenses I use are f2. Even with the 50 f1, I shoot wide open. That one though, you do have to stop it down a little bit because f1 is kind of drastic. But yeah, like, I shoot wide open all day, every day. Everything's wide open. Every now and then I'll stop down, but crop sensor just allows me to do that. So to me, I'd rather have sharper photos than everything blurred out because, you know, f 1.4 on a full frame is like extra shallow. Can you give us a video on your dress options for photo? Oh yeah, you know, I was going to. I haven't done it yet, but I've been thinking about doing it. Is all black the best? I'm not a fan of the whole all black. I think wearing, like, what I'm wearing now, I would wear to a wedding. This is literally what I would wear to a wedding. Like a button up with a sweater. But yeah, I don't like when you wear all black, you become the help. Like, you're no different than the people serving the food. And your couples, well, maybe not your couple, but all their guests, they'll treat you like that. And the other vendors will treat you like that too. I don't like the mentality that all black puts on you. Like, you become just the worker, you know? Oh man, I forgot. I was a third photographer at this wedding. This wedding had like 400 guests. This was a huge wedding. I wasn't even the main photographer. I was the third photographer. 50 millimeter alone was not bad, to be honest. Those are personally my go-to. Yeah, the 50 art is awesome. I don't remember. I guess I had the 35 art as well, because I mainly had Sigma lenses. So, have you used Nikon camera for wedding photography? I have not. I only did Canon and Fujifilm. Please, can you tell me about the iPad Pro for photography? For editing photos or for taking photos? I mean, for editing, it's pretty cool. It's good stuff. I don't even, who are these people? I don't remember none of these weddings. I got a hunch that if a new photographer spends $1,200 on a camera, either new or used, their equipment typically will outpace their ability for at least a few years, and they'll get their money's worth. I mean, yeah, probably so. Editing on an iPad is awesome. I don't know how much I can really talk about it, but it's good stuff. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I forgot. Oh, wow. You can do that? How cool. If you hold down shift when you press the space bar, it makes it open all slow and dramatic. But yeah, this was also Canon. Like, I don't think it looks that different from my Fuji stuff. It really doesn't. The main thing is the colors are different, but that's because I was editing differently, so. Again, at the end of the day, it just comes down to knowing your camera and using it well. This was an awesome shot. But yeah, these were early. I was very lucky to be pulling off some of these weddings because I really had no idea what I was doing. Like, these were early. I'm like 10, 15 weddings deep. Like, total novice. Pulling off some decent works. Where is this? This is it's in New York. A lot of people shoot at this venue. It's in Queens somewhere, I think. I can't remember the name of the venue. But yeah, the good old days. The good old days. But it's about that time, y'all. It's about time for me to sign off because I got to get ready for this dentist appointment. And also, it's New Year's. Anyone hit New Year's yet? Y'all hit the New Year? Everyone else is part. So that's the thing. Anyone who's in here, they haven't started celebrating yet, or it's someone who's like waiting for the last hour or so. But yeah, y'all, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for looking at some of my old photos, some of my 2020 photos, and hearing me rant about full frame versus crop center and how your clients don't care. I mean, yeah, the only clients that are gonna care if you have a full frame or not is if you're doing like commercial work. But see, they understand what you're using. You know, it's very different than just like someone who's never even had their photo taken. Thanks for spending time with us. No problem. Thank you all for spending time with me. Happy New Year's to everybody. I'm gonna start editing this video that I just recorded, and y'all will know that it's the video because I'll have on this swanky sweater. But yeah, we made it, y'all. We made it. 2020's over. Woo! Ah! Hopefully we'll have weddings again. Hopefully we'll get back to some normal weddings. We'll see. We'll see. And if we do have some normal weddings, expect some more full wedding day behind the scenes. But again, we'll see what 2021 looks like. I do have some stuff at the end of the year at least. So again, I'll keep trying to make work. I'll keep sharing with you all how I'm learning photography and also trying to improve myself. And we'll just go on from there. But thank you again for hanging out. And